Hey there, welcome back to my kitchen. In today's video, we are going to be making 3 very easy slow cooker recipes. I know a lot of people love slow cooker recipes for this time of year, fall going into winter, so I do hope that you enjoy today's video, but let's go ahead and get started and I'll show you how to make these 3 slow cooker recipes. First up today, we're making what we like to call fancy nachos, which is just a chip dip in the crock pot. To begin with this one, I'm just taking 1 pound of a very lean ground beef and cooking that in a skillet. Since I'm using a super lean ground beef, I will not need to drain any grease off of it. I'm going to go ahead and add in my seasoning, so I'm adding half a teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of onion powder, half a teaspoon of salt, and a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. If you will be needing to drain any grease off, I would wait till after that to add these seasonings in here, that way you don't end up pouring out half of the seasonings. I'm just going to mix this together and let this finish cooking all the way through. Next, I'm going to take about a 1/4 cup of red onion and chop that up really fine. You will also be needing to cube 16 ounces of Velveeta cheese. I personally like to use the off-brand Velveeta. I just think it tastes a little bit better and it is also a bit cheaper. Now just moving over here to my slow cooker, this is about 2 quarts I want to say. I'm going to go ahead and first add in the ground beef. Next, you'll add in 1 10-ounce can of diced tomatoes with green chilies. I did go ahead and drain out the juice out of the can. 1 can of drained and rinsed black beans. Half a cup of beef broth. Then you'll add in the onion we chopped up along with the cheese. Then finally, you'll add in about a half cup of shredded pepper jack cheese and then get this all mixed together the best that you can. I went ahead and added my lid on there and let this cook on a low heat for right around 3 hours until everything was completely melted. Here's what it looked like after the 3 hours. It does look a little runny at this point, but the longer it sits, the thicker it will become. And then here's what my plate looked like in the end. I just put a little bit in this bowl, topped it with some lettuce, tomato, and sour cream, and then dipped my chips right in there. We had Doritos on this night, but you could also just use regular plain tortilla chips. Honestly, the best chips that you can use for this recipe are the little scoop tortilla chips. They pick up the dip the best, but like I said, we went ahead and just used Doritos on this night. Next, we are making a slow cooker version of jambalaya, and I do want to say this is not going to be your traditional jambalaya recipe. I did use 2 other recipes as inspiration for this recipe, so I will link them down below for you. To begin, we do have some chopping to do, so I'm going to go ahead and chop up half of a red bell pepper, 1 entire green bell pepper, half of an orange bell pepper, 1 small yellow onion, and 2 jalapeno peppers with the seeds removed. Next, for the sausage in this, I know a lot of people use andouille sausage, however it really hurts my stomach, so I'm just using some smoked turkey sausage, but you can use any kind you like. You just want to make sure to go ahead and slice up the entire thing. And finally, I'm just going to take 1 chicken breast and cube that up. Now moving over to my baby slow cooker, I'm going to first add in the chicken. Next, you'll add in the sausage, all of the peppers, jalapeno, and onion. Next, I'm adding in a half teaspoon of the chicken better than bouillon. 1 tablespoon of minced garlic, And then I'm adding in 1.5 tablespoons of this homemade Cajun seasoning. If you're using a store-bought version, they are usually a little bit more salty, so just keep that in mind. And last but not least, you're going to add in 1 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes. Go ahead and give this a mix and make sure everything is well combined. Now I'm just adding the lid, and I'm going to let this cook on a low heat for about 3.5 to 4 hours. At this point, everything in the crock pot is cooked, so I went ahead and gave it a little taste and decided I wanted to add a little bit more Cajun seasoning, so that's up to you if you want a little bit more kick. I gave it one good stir, and then on top I'm going to add my shrimp. This is 1 bag of thawed large shrimp that have been peeled, deveined, and the tail is removed. You'll just mix that in, make sure it's all covered with the other contents of the slow cooker, and then you'll let this go for about another hour or so until the shrimp is cooked all the way through. Now the recipes that I was using for inspiration for this recipe, they said to cook the rice in the slow cooker with the juices in here. That would have been good, but there was also a lot of mixed reviews saying the rice didn't turn out very well, so I went ahead and cooked my rice separately on the stove, and then we just went ahead and layered them in the bowl and mixed them together. Once you mix everything up, it's not so liquidy, and this actually turned out being very, very good. Like I said, not your traditional jambalaya, but it was still really, really good. And now this is a favorite in our house. I haven't made it in quite some time. We're going to make these cracked chicken sandwiches. To begin, I am just going to go ahead and add 2 small chicken breasts into my slow cooker. Onto the chicken, I'm adding 1 packet of ranch seasoning with 1 block of cream cheese. Then I'm just adding the lid, turning this onto a low heat and letting it go for about 4 hours. When the chicken is almost done, I am then going to go ahead and chop up 3 green onions. And I went ahead and cooked about 5 slices of bacon. I'm going to go ahead and chop those up as well. Here's what the chicken is looking like at this point. It should shred very, very easily. So I'm just taking a fork and I'm going to go ahead and shred that up. Once everything is shredded and mixed up, you can go ahead and add in the bacon and the green onion. I'm also going to add in about 1/2 cup of shredded mild cheddar cheese. This step is optional. I like to add about 1/4 teaspoon of dill. It just really brings out that ranch flavor, but if you're not a fan of dill, then don't add that in. I got that all mixed together, let the cheese melt for a moment, and then this was ready to go. We just like to eat this chicken on some brioche buns, and on the side there I just made some potato wedges. I did top off our sandwiches with a little bit more cheese, but this is what they look like. Very, very simple and easy recipe to make. I know I can never go wrong making this for dinner at my house. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you did make it all the way to the end, don't forget to leave a flower down in the comments below to let me know that you did. I will not have a video up on Wednesday, so I hope to see you back here next Sunday for a new video. Bye!